Welcome to Growth Talk, y'all, episode 5. It's me, Nave, and I got Jamiee and James with us tonight. And we're going to be discussing having faith during the tough times. So, James, do you want to take the floor to start off with just having faith during the tough times? Like your point on it?
Yeah, that's fine. So, having faith through tough times, like you said, I would say is a bold statement, but some slightly. And I would say why I said that is because we have faith only when it's good times. And a lot of people don't have faith when it's bad times. So you can always pray during the good times when you see everything going great. But then you can pray through the bad times only because you want to get out of the bad times. No, you need to be like humbled through the bad times more so than the good times, in my opinion, because the bad times are going to make you technically stronger as a person more so than the good times. Because if you just see win after win after win after win, you're going to get cocky, you're going to get arrogant, you're going to get any other type of word you can think of, you're going to get that because all you see is winning. But when you take that first hit, you're going to take it as this doesn't happen to me. But technically it needs to happen to you. And so how big will your faith be when it comes to that time? So that's my take on it as far as like right now, just kind of kick it off, but I have more to say, but I'm gonna let everybody else talk, you know what I mean? But that's my take.
Yeah, that's on point, bro. Like, that's one thing I had wrote down is like, a lot of times we're waiting until the tough times to, let me have faith. And it's like, or let me kick this in, or, let me start doing what I know. But it starts before the tough time comes. It's just like, for example, like a game, like I play basketball, so I always go to basketball, for example, with sports. But like, if we about to play the championship, we not about to prepare for the championship the day of the championship. We gonna prepare for that before the championship even get there. We're preparing for that months, the whole year or year in advance, so forth and so on. And it's the same thing when our faith gets tried. It's like the preparation where the building and stuff comes in is before the tough time, and then the tough time, because when, like you said, bro, when you get hit, you get hit, like, you know what I mean? And then it's like mustering up the will and the push through to apply what you know and stuff like that. And so it's not easy at the end of the day. We are human. So even when we get hit, that initial hit, sometimes it is tough. Sometimes it's like, man, but it's like that. I just read something about perseverance. It's just persevering through, knowing that you're going to get through that, knowing that time is going to pass, but just understanding that the preparation comes in before. And that's why I'm so big on personal development and personal growth in all aspects, because we have to have the tools to grow, like, because you got to have the tools to apply those things, So that's my take on it as well. I got more things, but just to piggyback off you, James, I definitely agree with that.
Yes. And just like you were saying, like, I just want to pick up where you were talking about the preparation. And like, it's literally all part of the progress. Like, for the past like 5 days, like the faith has been a big thing. Like just listening to others talk about the faith, like different things like behind the faith. And one thing that has stuck out the whole time, like just doing this progress for these past few days, is that your faith will be tested.
Thanks.
Because, you want to stand on it. So you say that you believe and that if this happened and that happened, that I can do this, I can do that, whatever the case may be, or I won't do this, or I won't do that, being put in this situation. But then, like people say, like, don't say that you won't never do that until you're in that situation. Mm-hmm. Because like, that's so true, because you really don't know what you would do until you're put into that situation. And that just goes back to faith. Like, how strong is your faith in God? Like, what type of relationship do you have? I was even just on the Zoom prior to this, and the topic was Lord, help my unbelief. And they talked about just like not having the faith and just being transparent with it, and knowing that at times, the flesh gets weak. And to just know during those weak moments and those moments of vulnerability, like just say, Father, hey, help my unbelief at this moment, Lord, because I know you told me this, but right now it's not looking like that. They calling my phone, they looking for me. I'll listen to that, Lord. I'm just looking. This is real life situation right now as we speak. So it just be like, Lord, what is okay? Let me just sit back and let me just breathe and let me just trust you during this time, because he told me about a couple weeks ago, practice what you preach. And how can you encourage someone else or do something to say these words or to say the scripture to someone else and you don't even believe it? Like, what's really going on? Like, are you a hypocrite? Like, what's going on at this time? Because you talk a good game, but now you put in this situation. So now what is it? But again, like, we have to continue to be real and honest with ourselves to build that belief, to build that faith up. Because if you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with no one else, secondly. And then third, you can't grow. You can't grow. So like during those weak moments, just say, I'm having a weak moment, but I'm going to get through this with your help. Like, just a day at a time. A day at a time. And remember to breathe. Because if you don't breathe, you be over here like, Lord, I think I'm about to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah.
And it's funny because I actually opened the page up in my notebook that I take notes in. And I have to use this cuss word in it because the emphasis won't be the same. And so I'm gonna read this sentence. So circumstances don't make the man or woman. They only reveal him or her to yourself. Your current circumstances is your fault if you don't like them. Nobody else's. You're just telling the universe you're okay with the bullshit.
Man.
And so it's really just like off that, just how much, like you said, how much faith do you really have when hard times come? Because in my opinion, it's more so like when you get hit with something, you can have the faith, cool. And how you said, the flesh, I think more so if when it get to the physical aspect of things as human beings, I think it's more of an ego thing. Mm-hmm. And because you've been hit with something, your ego has been hit, your pride has been hit. And so how much faith do you have to lift that pride and that ego back up? Because if you're hit with something, people are gonna like, because I've been told this, I've been be like you've been put under pressure, you've been called names, or like doing what we do, it's like you've been called every single thing in the book. Mm-hmm. And that's when your personal development happens. You get better as a person, you start to tune out the noise, you start to become just a better overall person. And so if you're not in that stage of personal growth, like Jamiee said, if you haven't just did personal development over and over and over, then the moment someone calls you a scam or somebody calls you this or that, or to say whatever they want to say, that's faith you have to have in order to get through it. But at the same time, your pride and your ego has been hit. And so that's a tough time. And just to go along with that, it's just people, in general, is people holding themselves back. And when you hold yourself back, that means you're holding God to work with you. Yeah. And so that could be played in another realm of how much faith do you really have? Because if you're not believing in yourself, then you're telling basically you don't believe in God, because not saying like that, but you get the gist of it. You're telling him that he can't work for you because you don't believe in your own self. So how can he help you if you don't believe it? He gets you to this pinnacle of success or where you want to get to. How can you get to it if you don't believe yourself you can get to it? So then why would he give it to you? Yeah. So then how much faith do you really have in yourself in order for him to have faith in you? Because he has faith in you, but you have to believe in yourself too. Right.
Thanks. There's so much that's real. Yeah, that's good. I got a question for y'all. What have y'all learned during the tough times you know, about your faith? Like, what have you learned about your own personal faith during the tough times?
Well, for me, it's, unless you want to go to my first name, but.
Oh, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, it's been many times I've been, just tested with faith. And I think the more times I've been tested, the closer I've got and better I've got at having faith.
Yeah.
And the beginning, it was kind of like what Nate said, is like, okay, you talk a good game, but do you really back it up? And that was me in the beginning. Like, I always say this, I say that, and whatever, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I'm still doing the repetitive thing over and over. That it's not a good habit, it's a bad habit. And so as times got on, as I grow older and everything like that, the more faith I've had when I've got hit, the better I became. And so just when things happen now in life, I'm kind of like, just, do I get pissed off at it? Yeah, transparency. Yes, I do at times, but it's kind of like I brush it off. It's like, okay, it's going to happen regardless. I have to get through it. But back then, it's kind of like, dang, I just seem like I can't catch a break.
Yeah.
So that's just where my faith has grown to, is so where I can get past certain things quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So, bro.
Yeah. And I agree with you with that one, because I was definitely going to talk about the awareness, where you're aware of what's going on, like, because you know what you've either prayed for or something that you possibly said. So now it's being tested. So when you're aware of that, you're able to snap back faster. You're able to say, oh, okay, well, I know that this is this. Let me, figure out how I need to maneuver with it, and then like pick up from there. And like you said, as you grow, it becomes stronger and stronger. And then not only that, it's like, it's different levels now. So yeah, but now it's like, it's getting harder. Like, okay, I ain't never seen this one before. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And then when it goes back to the questioning of like, I ain't never seen this before. So now you like, okay, I ain't got this test no more. So I've apparently passed it. So then it took me back to, I was reading Job. And he said, where he was talking about how he allowed it because Job had already, proved how his faithfulness, proved like, the tests and trials, and got through it and able to move. So that's why he was tested. But just going back again to like the different levels to it. So you done passed this. So now you don't have to worry about them tests no more. So now you over here, you working with corporate and it's big people, but you seen yourself up here already, but it's all of this, like, it's in the way, like clutter, like the people, like the talking, like they want you to have extra credentials and all this, but you already seen yourself up here with the corporate. So now you working on patience, now you working on how to talk to people, now you working on, like James was saying, your pride and your ego, because I done already passed this test. So now y'all telling me that because, oh no, I'm about. But now again, you in that test. So we testing this faith because what? God told you this, you seen this. So it's just like, faith.
What about you, Jamiee?
Kind of similar to yours, bro, of just my faith has over time is gotten stronger. Do I still get hit with things and like where my attitude may go a different way in that moment, or if I'm getting impatient, I still get impatient here and there, but it's like, it's almost quicker now of getting out of it, just simply because for me, I've learned my relationship with God has grown so much to where like I talk to him daily throughout the whole day. Like I was just sharing this with Chelsea last night, like I'm constantly seeking him. When I ask for something, when I pray to him, when I'm talking, like when whatever it is, I'm seeking where he's at because I know he's going to show me. I know he's going to bring it to me. I know it's something that he's going to speak to me. And I think like what you said, Nate, that comes with the awareness too, being aware, like just not walking through life like la, 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 you're going to miss it because it's like, so for me over time, it's just like where I'm at now, it's just like you said, James, like shake it off quicker. Do I still feel it? initially, yeah, but because of the time put in, it's things that I can go to, practical things that I do to get, that I know to do, to get to uplift, to lift that whatever off or whatever. So that's what's certain practical things that I've learned from personal development has helped me lift certain things off at certain times, especially like when it gets tough. But like you said, James, it's just it's quicker. It's, you know, it didn't go. I think you mentioned something similar to like perspective. Is, to me, it's all about perspective. When I get, and this started off early when I stepped on this journey of personal development, it's like my perspective, I look at challenges like this is an opportunity for growth. This is an opportunity for me to go deeper. This is an opportunity that, you know, that God is going to grow our relationship deeper. My trust is going to grow deeper. I'm going to be able to have a more, it's going to add on to my testimony to help someone else. So my perspective also helps me persevere. My purpose helps me persevere as well, because I know that what God has called me to. So I know that I'm here to help people. So when I get faced with things, I know that this whatever isn't for me. In that moment, it don't feel like that, be straight up. But like, but once I talk to God and have that conversation with him, it's like, okay, Lord, like I know it's being used, you know, just be with me while, just help me while I'm walking through, while we walk through with me, Lord. And one thing that I say now all the time is like, Lord, thank you for your presence. Like, thank you for your presence. Like, even before this call, thank you for your presence being in this call. Like, I'm constantly inviting him in everything. Even though I know he's there, I want him to know I want you here. Like, you know, so for me, that has helped. That has helped a lot. Just understanding the perspective and stuff like that.
So, but yeah, I was gonna say something like that, not like that, but I was gonna say you walk different too. Like when you have that feeling. And I was gonna bring up something funny because me and my wife talk about it all the time. When we got off a plane one time, I forgot where we came back from. We saw this lady. I think she was like security. I don't know if she was security or not, but she had like this like legit walk. Like she was just that girl.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know if I ever forget it, because the way she was walking, it was like, all right, she about her business. And that's kind of like how you have it when you have that faith behind you. It's like you walk different with it. And you can tell from people, because I mean, we've all been on planes, and you can see the business class people, you can see, you know, economy people, whatever, they're all the same to me. But when you have the extra money, you can buy the first class and stuff like that. Anyways, you can tell from how I'm explaining, like the lady, when she got off the plane, she had that type of persona compared to the people in first class. You can just tell they're arrogant. And I don't know if that makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like when you walk with that type of faith, kind of like how I'm describing the lady, you can tell she's there to do something. But when you have someone like first class, how I'm kind of explaining, like arrogant type of view, or like, you know, look like I'm better than you. That's how I'm trying to compare it to. Then you have, you know, the arrogance behind that. It's kind of like you're not really here to help people. You're just here to show who you are. So compared to helping and seeing how you are, compared to showing who you are, there's a difference. And I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. But some people are only here with faith to show they have faith, in a way of, yes, I'm legit about my stuff, but I'm just trying to prove a point, rather than having faith, helping people have the faith, and not care about how you basically just said, Jamiee, not caring about the outcome. You're here for a purpose because it's not for you.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I can describe it. I don't know if any of that made sense, but cut it, like, long story short, it's kind of like people are on this earth to help people, and there's people on this earth to just, you know, be who they are, but tear people down.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the right way to have or go about faith, because you can go about faith in many different ways. You do it in a different way that people might understand and people might not understand. And that's kind of like how I'm tying it in with what you said, Jamiee. It's like being here for a purpose, because the purpose isn't for you in the long run. It's for other people. rather than being here, you get the reward and then you be stingy with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't like, so for me, it's like, I look at it as opportunity, because that's why I say it's the perspective shift. That's what helps. Like what you saying, James, like that's what helps in it. Cause it's like, it suck while you in it. You know, it don't be feeling good, but it's like something has to get our mind on something else in order to keep going. You know, because we can sit here and dwell in it and like, woe is me and oh my gosh, and the world is out to get me, or we can look at it like, okay, Lord, this is opportunity. And
That's just like mentors, really.
yeah,
People are so discouraged by mentors. It's like, oh, he's just trying to get $100 from me, or he's trying to get $200 from me, or he's trying to get 1,000 from me. Okay, maybe, but at the same time, what if he's not? That's why I said the two perspectives of people. It's like some people are really here to help people, and some people are just ready to scam them. But I think that you have to just take your chances. I mean, you have to, it's kind of like you're gambling, but you're not gambling. Okay, say this mentor wants to charge you $100. He takes your $100. Cool, move on. You've been hit with a challenge. How do you respond to it? Move on to the next person. You want to try another mentor? That might be the mentor actually takes your $100 and turn 2 million.
okay.
You have to take the chances. You can't just say because one person just screwed you over, you can't just stop believing in people.
Yeah.
How much is your faith? Like,
Yeah,
how much is your faith?
God gonna bring, like, when one
Yeah.
door closed, he gonna open another door. So it's like, and I think that's like, to your point with that, James, like, so many times we get discouraged, but not understand. We put limits on God, and really what it is, we're putting limits on ourselves because of our hurt, pain, insecurity, whatever the case may be. But it's like, we have to break those limits to see that, okay, this might didn't work out like you said, James, but here you go, because God is going to supply. God is a God of abundance. So it's like, he going to constantly supply. It's just, I think it's up to us to see, you know.
One of our, I mean, I don't have much to say else, but one of our mentors, I don't know if y'all caught the post. I should have shared it in our group. One of our mentors said, and I am not going to say his name on here, but one of our mentors, he posted a picture of a loaf of bread. And I'll see the post, but basically the picture said, if you go down the grocery aisle, you have all these loaves of bread. You have all these companies on these loaves of bread. That's prime example that everybody can eat.
Yeah.
There's so many companies. There's so many companies on the loaf of bread. Doesn't mean everybody still gets the same loaf of bread. People get this loaf of bread. People get that loaf of bread. The companies are still eating. Mm-hmm. So why is it any different when you just talked about abundance? What is the difference?
Right.
Yep. There's not one, but like you said, perspective. It goes right back to the perspective.
What has helped y'all during the tough times? And helped you, like, what's helped you, and how did you maneuver through the tough times? Like, I know we talked about what we learned, but how did y'all, because I know y'all been hit with different things, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nay, you talking about you going through something these past 5 days or whatever. So what is helping you? And then too, how are you maneuvering through it?
God is definitely has been helping me get through it. And just keeping my focus on my purpose, because it definitely goes back to, like, it's bigger than me. Like, and then I'm looking at it like I also have 3 little ones looking at me. So it's like, if this is happening and shoot, mama can't get through it, then now I don't think I can. Because if mama can, I don't think I can. So it's like, I'm not just going through the faith for myself, but also going through the faith for my children, because I'm teaching them, and then going out in the world and doing the same thing. But the others have been helping me get through it, and knowing that at the end, like, I will win, like, no matter what it look like. Sticky notes has been my best friend. When a thought comes in my mind, and I'm like a positive affirmation, and I'll just write it. Or even if it's something that's like heavy on me, I've been writing it down and like either ripping it up in tiny pieces, letting you know that you have no power, or burning it. And again, like, you're dust, like it's nothing, like you're out of here. And praise dancing, like me and the girls been in here just praise dancing away, twirling and spinning, and just, you know, keeping that joy, keeping your mind off of what the enemy is trying to do, or possibly even something that you had set up yourself that you really didn't know back then you were setting it up, you know, because again, you're planting that seed still, whether it's good harvest or bad harvest. And like I said, that's going back to the transparency, because I can't remember which one of you had said it, but about us creating our own things and, you know, then want to complain about it when it actually comes full. So we have to, again, that goes back to the accountability, like take accountability of what's going on and just continue again to trust God and just know that he chastises those that he loves. That's how I've been getting through it. Like,
that's what's up.
Continue growing within it, like that growth.
That's real. That's the same way for me, really. And I just wrote that down, not like what you said, but basically what you said. And I just said, it was a thought that just came to me that I wrote down because I needed to write it down, because I just said, what if someone was looking that was close to you or you're a big fan of yours? How would you respond to that if somebody was looking directly and always keeping an eye on you? And kind of like goes with your kids and stuff like that. If they're always watching you, or someone that's a really big, you know, have influence on you, or not you, but you have an influence on them, and they see you do something and they influence that, how would that influence affect them? And so that's why I just wrote it down, because like, I think that's more powerful than we take it. Because if someone were to come over to you, Jamiee or Nay, and say, I saw what you did last week, I didn't really like it, and you kind of hurt my heart, how would that make you feel? And so you would have such a bad influence on you that would hit you 10 times over, because you just kind of like, you just kind of hurt somebody from not even knowing you would know them. But you still hurt them because you did something that they wasn't about, but the influence you had on them affected them. And so that's why I just wrote it down, because like, I think that's more powerful than we think it.
Yeah. Not for real, because people are always looking, especially for some people, you know, this is their invitation to even know God, like to even see him through us. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's a powerful perspective. What's some fruit that y'all have seen through y'all's tough times and the things that y'all been through? What's some fruit that you've seen? You know, God is producing so many things, but what's some that you've seen that has produced through the things that you've been through and faced in your life over the years and in your journey?
Don't focus on the oh, go ahead.
You're fine, go ahead.
I was just gonna say a short sentence. If you don't focus on the outcome will come faster.
So just enjoying the process, like, you know, that's what you like mean by
enjoying the process, having fun with it.
Yeah.
Enjoying the process, having fun with it, and obviously putting in the work, and just staying patient.
Yeah.
I think it'll happen a lot faster than people think.
And I would even say it would happen even faster with us taking like the limits off of God and getting him outside of this box that we continue to put him in. I would say even with myself, the patience, because I'll be like, okay, you ready? So where is it at? So like patience has been like the biggest thing, along with the awareness, the discernment for sure. The picking back up faster instead of dwelling in it. That has been big. I'm doing something that's going to fill you back up versus continue to do something that's going to beat you down even more. where it talked about that pit that we that I had sent the other day in the devotional. Like when you get close to that pit, like you can definitely fall in. So it's best to just shifting. Mm-hmm. That's a big one.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm. What kind of
Everybody-
few did you receive?
Patience has definitely developed more. Awareness, confidence. My trust in God has developed. My love for people has developed. By me being hurt by people, it actually did the opposite. It developed my care and compassion and love for people even more, genuinely, whereas like I don't want nothing in return. I just want to help people, want them to win, want them, I don't want, it's like I don't want people to go through what I went through. I don't want everyone to cause what I went through. Yeah, those some of the things, leadership, develop through it all. Yeah, to name a few. Responsibility too, because like just being responsible and and like habits, because like what we were saying, sometimes our habits gets us in certain things, and just getting better habits, still got improvement on a lot of things though, for sure. But yeah, those are some of the fruit.
Always improvements.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Y'all have any questions that y'all wanted to ask, or anything else y'all want to share?
I just think everybody who watches this, needs to think about where their faith really is.
Yeah.
Not question yourself in that type of way, but ask yourself, how strong is it? Because I'm sure all of us here could still go to a different level.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I would just say, like, even with the takeaways, it's just keep growing that faith. Don't be afraid to say, like, I'm struggling. Like, reach out to someone. Not that person, though, that gets you into the trouble and stuff. And but someone that you actually trust, that is going to help pull you up. Instead of keeping you in that place or keeping you in that mindset, or possibly even keeping you in that mindset to even make themselves feel better because they're going through it. So be mindful of who you confide in for the help, because you can build the faith up in a wrong way, more so not having the faith, and just continue bringing up the past. And you remember when this, and you remember when that. So now they're creating unbelief versus faith.
Yeah.
So, definitely would say mindful of your environment, but seek help. Don't be afraid to seek help.
Hey, I think environment is so key. Like, because one thing, y'all, like when they and other leaders in our community daily, in the morning leave, things that's going to help people and speak life into people. And I think that's just that seed, you know what I mean? And I think it's so powerful because you never know what people are going through. And a lot of times I know when I was in a dark place in my life, I would wake up with pain in my chest because of what I was going through, the thinking or whatever. And so having those daily dosage of, someone speaking into you in a positive way, it helps because it's like feeding your spirit with the right things. You know what I mean? So keep doing that, y'all. But yeah, I'll say environment is so key. And then takeaway is just understand faith comes by hearing. So you gotta hear the word. If you're not a believer, hear positive things. Like, because that's so important, because it's like we're going through life with so much, and we have so many voices, so many different things, and the enemy's constantly trying to get in, because his arena is our mind, and if he can get in our thoughts, it's just game over. Not game over, because at the end of the day, God is God, and he's already defeated the enemy. But you can get into this deep spiral or in this pit like Nate was talking about, and it's just understanding that, like I said, faith comes by hearing. So you got to constantly feed your spirit, feed you with positive things. So then when tough times come, because with the renewing, when tough times come, it's just like what you were saying, James, at one point, how in the past where it's like, man, I can't catch a break. But that just all comes, that talk came from a constant. That's what I would say when tough times happen, or that's what we would say, or programmed to say. We heard that from whether our parents, family, other adults, whatever. And so we have certain verbiage that we're just so used to saying from being programmed, and that's why you got to deprogram yourself with that stuff, and program yourself with the right stuff. So then when tough times come, instead of saying that, man, can't catch a break, or man, feel like I'm getting knocked down 10 times, whatever, like, it's a different verbiage that's coming out. And the more that we, hear the right things, that's what's going to come out. So it's like what they say, bad in, bad out, good in, good out. So that would be my takeaway. For sure.
Man, it was definitely some great gems, and for whoever is listening, like, we definitely hope and pray that this adds some type of value to you. Even just comment in the chat, in the comments, if this did add value. Just comment value, comment a diamond, comment something. Even if you need help, like, say help 911. This is a judge-free zone, because we were definitely honestly here to just help, like, nothing more, nothing less. You can even message either one of us as well. We'll even put our information down in the comments. But again, this is episode 5 of Growth Talk. Again, this is me, Nay, and we got Jamiee and James with us as well, saying again, have a lovely night.
Stay blessed. That's it.
Yeah.